What is up YouTube, HPJ here, and I'm coming at you guys with my Harpie Lady deck profile. It is also because it's in celebration of today, and that is actually my birthday. I was waiting a minute for a lot of my gift cards to come in. Unfortunately, one particular card did not come in if you haven't seen that video, and that's pretty much my Utopia Double, because I know a lot of people want to see uh, me run Utopia Double in this deck. But I'm kind of not a big fan of Utopia Double. Or the Utopia setup itself, because I feel like Harpies have access to a lot of cards that can easily be played. I don't think it's a bad combination, but I feel like it's very gimmicky and very situational. And I don't want too many situational things. I just want enough things that I can easily run. So that is my explanation for not running it. Don't at me. Anyway, let's just get into the deck profile, because I know you guys are more excited about that than me rambling on about hearsay and here and there. Anyway, we're going to start it off with my monster lineup. It's pretty basic and simple. I'm running 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer, 3 copies of Harpie Channeler, 3 copies of Harpie Harpist, 1 copy each of Harpie Queen, Harpie Dancer, Harpie Oracle, 2 copies of Harpie Lady Ones, and 1 copy of Harpie Lady Sisters. For the last of my monsters in the main deck, I am running a full set of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. So that is it for my monster lineup. We're going to move on to my spells, and I am running 3 copies of Hysteric Sign, 2 copies each of Elegant Egotist, Harpie's Hunting Ground, and Alluring Mirror Split. For the rest of the spells, I'm running 1 copy each of Harpie's Feather Rest, Triangle Ecstasy Spark, and 2 copies of Call by the Grave. So that is it for the spells. We're going to move on to my traps, and that is 3 copies of Harpie's Featherstorm, 2 copies of Harpie Lady Elegance, 2 copies of Hysteric Party, and 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. So that is it for my traps. Then we move on to the extra deck, and I am running 2 copies of Harpie Conductor, 2 copies of Great Fly, 1 copy each of Fighter Fighting Darumidol, and Barrel Sword Dragon. Then for the rest of the extra deck monsters, I'm running 1 copy of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald, 1 copy of Lightning Chidori, Castel, Ice Beast Zero Fine, Abyss Dweller, Gaga Cowboy, and Babuska, the Terribly Tired Tape Eater. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for both the main and the extra. So let's just go over a few of the highlights. So, first off is Harpie Conductor. So pretty much with Harpie Conductor, she has 2 great abilities. The first one is that if a Harpie monster were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card you control instead. Her other effect is if a Harpie monster you control is returned to the hand, you can target 1 specific monster your opponent controls and return that card to hand. So the defensive effect applies to a lot of the Harpie cards we currently have right now that she can easily destroy and benefit from their effects. Of course, we're talking about Alluring Mirror Split, Harpie's Hysteric Party, and Hysteric Sign, and Harpie Lady Elegance. 3 cards that have additional effects when they are destroyed by card effect, and have the ability to help search out for to give a lot of more plays for the Harpie ladies and the Harpie archetype itself. Now, we also can talk about the 2 cards that she gets the bounce effect around, and that is, of course, the effects of Harpie Harpist and Harpie Dancer, who, as we all know, have the effects to return wind monsters or winnie bees back to the hand, to get rid of other cards, or to give additional okay, I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. Harpie Harpist has her effect, of which she can return a winnie beast monster you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls back to hand. So with Harpie Conductor, that allows her effect to trigger, where she can return a monster that was special summoned due to the effects of a card. Now we look at Harpie Dancer, and her ability is flat out return one wind monster you control to give yourself additional normal summon of a wind monster that turn. So, in conjunction, she pretty much can return herself, then normal summon herself, or choose not to normal summon herself, and it triggers Harpie Conductor's effect then. So you have a lot of ways with that. Also, wanted to note with Harpie Conductor is Torrential Tribute. I also wanted to note Dark Hole just because that's also another alternative. You can have a card you can activate on your turn to get rid of spells and trap. To get rid of monsters, and then you have a trap card that can help you get rid of monsters. So it leads the way of what things your opponent has to worry about: the Dark Hole or the Torrential Tribute. Luckily enough to have both of these cards at 3 and have access to them to help Harpie Conductor as well. The other thing that I wanted to note about, of course, is the ever faithful servant of Harpie Lady. No, it's not the big dragon, it is actually the Phantasmal Dragon. So in a combination with these, if Harpie Conductor can protect Phantasmal from being destroyed by cards that would massively destroy the board, such as Torrential Tribute and Dark Hole. As some effects. I don't know if she can get around counter traps like Solomon and stuff with her protection effect. I would suggest trying to look for it, and anybody does know about that, please leave that in the comment section below, or go to the Discord and you can leave that information as well in the Discord. Because can't believe I actually have to say this. Yeah, people, I do have a Discord. You can actually hit up my Discord. I left a link. Alright, so we're going to get rid of the 2 extra deck monsters for the Harpies. We're going to also now we can talk about the main deck Harpies themselves. Harpie Perfumer, Harpie Harpist, and Harpie Channeler. So these 3 are the ones that I focus the most on in terms of 3 because you have Harpist, who is your Sangan for the archetype. You have Harpie Perfumer, who, when she's normal summon or special summon, she can search for spells and traps that specifically list the Harpie Lady's sisters in its text and add it to your hand. And while you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster, she can grab 2 cards instead of 1, but they cannot share the same name. Then we have Harpie Channeler, who can discard any Harpie card from your hand to special summon one Harpie monster from your deck in defense. And then if you control a Dragon-type monster, her level will become 7. So that gives her some plays into cards like Draco Sack and Big Eye. If you want to use cards like Harpie's Pet Dragon or Tempest, the Dragon Ruler of Storms. Those are options if you want to run them. But yeah, these are pretty much the 3 big ones that I run. I want to move on from the 3 big ones. We've already talked about Harpie Dancer, so we can actually talk about Queen and Oracle. Harpie Queen pretty much was the first Harpie to start it all in terms of this monster name becomes Harpie Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. The great thing about this is that it goes over that whole 3 of situation with a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because if you have the clause that says this card's name is always treated as insert monster's name here, you are only able to run 3 of that monster unless that monster was limited, semi-limited, or banned. The crazy thing about this is that with that did host a lot of other archetypes to follow in that stuff, like Cyber Dragons. Plague Spreader has a monster treating him, Pain Painter, and some other cards like that. But Queen was the first one to do it. Queen's other effect, which is her main effect, is that she can discard herself from your hand to add 1 Harpie's Honeyground from your deck to your hand. So she can actually help you, like Oracle and Perfumer, to get multiple Harpie cards. Crazy enough, Harpie Oracle can, just like Harpie Perfumer, she can get spells and traps that specifically list Harpie Lady's sisters in its text, but she gets them from the graveyard and not the deck itself. That is a little slower, unfortunately, because she has to do it on a normal or special summon and wait till the end phase to do her effects, sadly enough. But it is a great monster overall because she has additional effect of if you control a level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And you can use each effect of Harpie Oracle once per turn. So she's not locked behind her effect like Hysteric Sign or so many other monsters, but she has a great synergy to her archetype and great retrieval to a lot of the main spells and traps that we use, because a lot of them do have Harpie Lady sisters in its text. Now, the next monsters to talk about, are, of course, are my Elegant Egotist targets. I've actually been questioning myself about Harpie Lady 1 and Harpie Lady Sisters, of if I want to run an additional Harpie Lady 1, or maybe an additional Harpie Lady Sisters, just so I have more targets for my Elegant Egotist. And the fact that I have multiples of those running around this camp. And not only that, but I can use 3 and still benefit from it. But I don't know, it's just some of those things I'm thinking about. I want to note Harpie Lady 1, Cyber Harpie Lady 2, Harpie Lady 3 are all treated as Harpie Lady, no matter where they are, hand, field, deck, or grave. So be careful of that if you're playing the vanilla Harpie Lady. Even though she's not an effect monster, she's still under that cloth, because her name is always Harpie Lady, no matter where she is. The Harpie Lady Sisters, and one of my ace monsters for this archetype and deck, pretty much can be so summoned through the effects of LED and must, and got rid of that whole Nomi clause of cannot be normal summoned or set, but can be so summoned through other means, and are locked. Unfortunately, greatly enough, she is not locked anymore behind that. But you have to be careful, because you have to probably summon her first in order for her to be so summoned through cards like Reborn, and stuff like that. Alluring Mirror, Split, Harpie Lady Elegance, because she has to be in the graveyard and was properly summoned and wasn't altered or changed or anything. So, yeah, those are the Harpies for that. And then, of course, my hand trap of choice is the Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, pretty much because this game still has a lot of decks that deal with searching and relying on those searching, and that can be a big no-no. I don't know why I just had the audacity to use that phrase, but hey, whatever. Alright, we're gonna move on to my spells. So, excluding their mandatory effects of the beautiful effects of being searchable, having cards be searched by this card's effect, you can add Elegant Egotist from your deck or graveyard next to the effects of Hysteric Sign. This is overall one of the best Harpie cards, because it has the ability to search for other Harpie cards, and now that we have trap cards that can be searched through Hysteric Sign, we are perfectly great. Sadly enough, we wish we had a Harpie monster that was able to search in or retrieve the Hysteric cards, meaning Hysteric Party and Hysteric Sign. Elegant Egotist has the ability to summon Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters from your deck or graveyard from your deck or hand to the field. With Hysteric Sign, Perfumer, and Oracle, you can easily get into this card as much as possible. I'm only running 2 of these primarily because I still personally think 3 is cloggy. You really aren't running that many monsters, and do you really want to sacrifice enough room in case you do have to bulkily run multiple Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters? If that's your choice, go for it. But yeah, it's just one of the things I'd rather run 2 of, because I have so many ways to search and retrieve Elegant Egotist. The Alluring Mirror Split. And Harpie's Hunting Ground, I forgot. Yeah, I gotta talk about these combos as well. The field spell for the Harpie Hunting Ground gives 200 additional attack to all Winged Beast monsters. Then, when Harpie Lady or Harpie Lady Sisters no more social summoned, whoever conducted the summon selects a spell or trap on the field and destroys it. So it pretty much makes the Harpies a walking MST. When they're no more social summon, and it gives them that additional boost. It may not be a good additional boost like Ebolwith, the Sacred Pieces of Morg, but hey, you never look a gift horse in the mouth. Alluring Mirror Split, great card for the Harpies, and another 2 of that I'm running because its first effect is not all potent. Harpie monster gets destroyed by battle, so summon another monster to the field that has a different original name than the Harpie that was destroyed, so you can get Harpie. You get a lot of Harpie cards off of this card's effect if the being destroyed by battle is something that you can trigger or force your opponent into. The other effect of this card is if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect or by battle, of course, just like I talked about with Harpie Conductor. Great way to utilize that effect. You can summon a Harpie monster from your deck or graveyard. From your graveyard to the field. Why can you say from your deck or graveyard? Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. The Harpie Lady Elegance. That's what I'm thinking of. But no, I love both of the cards' artwork. That's probably why I'm thinking of both of them at the moment. And relatively just some 2 if I'm thinking. Maybe you can run a 3rd Alluring Mirror Split. But that is completely up to you if you want to take that route. It's just very situation with it. Harpie's Feather Rest, Triangle, Ecstasy Spark. So these are 2 more Harpie cards that can easily be searched or retrieved by Oracle and Perfumer. Triangle Ecstasy Spark is the attack card. The attack name for the Harpie Lady Sisters. As a spell card, just like Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes, they all have additional effects and are named after the attack of the monster that's on the card. So Triangle Ecstasy Spark gives the additional attack of all Harpie Lady Sisters to become 2,700. Your opponent cannot activate trap cards, and the effects of their trap cards are negated till the end of the turn. So it has a Genzo's effect as well as a power boost. You can take additional cards like Harpie Sending Ground and stuff like that and play it after you played the Ecstasy Spark to gain even more additional attack to your Harpie Lady Sisters. But sadly enough, the 2,700 boost only lasts till the end of the turn. Harpie's Feather Rest, and a card that I'm running a one of as well because I can search and retrieve it. The best thing about this card is that it is a pot of average for the Harpies. Now that does conflict with Hysteric Party, but if you can play around with this card can be amazing. If you control level 5 or higher Harpie monster, you can draw 2 cards instead of 1. Also to note about this card is that it can be any combination of Harpie Lady and our Harpie Lady Sisters. It has to at least be 3 going back into the deck. And then for the rest of the turn, I do want to stretch this. You can only summon wind monsters when you activate this effect. So, no barrel load dragons, no ice beast, zero fine, none of that. It has to be straight wind. Luckily enough, wind has a ton of support for itself. So, no one will have to worry if you have to do that. As well as Harpie Lady Elegance, which I get to talk about after I talk about Call by the Grave. And Call by the Grave is primarily here because it's an additional way to deal with hand traps, additional way to deal with nasty monster effects in the grave, and just an overall way to help you deal with some things that you don't want to deal with in going off in the graveyard in terms of monsters. So that is the Call by the Grave. And now we get to move on to the traps. And we started off with one of Harpie's best traps, and that is Harpie's Feather Storm. So you can activate this card from your hand if you control a Harpie monster. When you control a wind-winged beast, you can negate the effects of all your opponent's negate the activation of all your opponent's monster effects. Sorry. This is honestly one of my favorite traps next to Hysteric Party, and that's simply just because of how offensive and defensive this card can be for the Harpies. You can search for this card with Hysteric Sign. It has great ways to negate and deal with a lot of monster effects. And honestly, this card is praised by a lot of players because of how powerful of an effect it has. Sadly enough, the last part of its effect is something that a lot of people were hoping for, fingers crossed, is the return of Harpie's Feather Duster, because if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can add Harpie's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So, I really want to get to this card bad. Harpie Lady Elegance. You can shuffle a Harpie Lady Sisters. You control back to your deck to summon the Harpie monster from your hand, your deck, and your graveyard. So, I was kind of saying this before if I haven't already. I wanted to run multiple Elegant Egotist targets, especially Harpie Lady Sisters, to really benefit from this. And get another Harpie Lady Sister on the field, and if I can get a Perfumer onto the field with those Harpie Lady Sisters, I can search for more cards to fill up the army. But it is still relatively a lot of here and there with this, but it's still honestly one of my favorites. It's a really good support card. If you do activate that effect to return the special summon, you can only use wind monsters for turn, so do be careful. And then if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, like Seven Conductor, you can just search for a Harpie monster and add it to your hand. Hysteric Party. Discard a card from your hand, so summon as many Harpie monsters from your Harpie Ladies from your graveyard to the field as possible. This is the biggest trap card I could love in this game because it gets back every monster in the graveyard that is Harpie Lady, and you have a ton of them. And boy, oh boy, has this card won me games, got me out of games. Yeah, Hysteric Party is hysteric for a reason. So that is all the Harpie extra deck cards. Trap cards. The only other trap to talk about is Torrential Tribute, but I pretty much talked about that when I talked about Harpie Conductor. Pretty much, it's a good offensive and defensive scenario card. Has a lot of downsides to it of being a trap, but it also has some bright sides to it of how Harpie Conductor can chain her effect, destroy this card, and protect her Harpie kin from being destroyed by this card's effect. Now, in terms of the extra deck, I've talked about the defensive capabilities between Conductor and Dragon, but we're just gonna look at Harpie Conductor just a little longer because it's our second extra deck monster and our link monster. And I'm running two of them because she's cute. Anyway, Great Fly has the ability to give 500 additional attack and defense to all wind monsters on the board. And if it's sucked from the field to graveyard by battle card effect, you can add a wind monster from your graveyard to your hand, so you can have a lot of recycle effects through this as well. You can also have some recycle effects through getting a lot of your Harpie monsters as well, thanks to this. Next up is Fighter Fighting Darumidal and Barrel Sword. Two additional monsters I run. Sadly enough, I can't summon if I use Hysterics, Harpie Lay Elegance, and Harpie's Feathers. Not Harpie's Feathers, sorry. Harpie's Featheress, because they aren't wind, they are fire and dark. But they have great effects overall. Darumidal can help against banished decks or cards that are going to banish your Harpies. He can retrieve a Harpie monster from your banish by destroying a monster your opponent controls. Does not say it has to go to graveyard, which is great. Also, into Ken, he can pop a spell or try a card on both players' side of the field once a turn. And then, besides the retrieval effect, he gains additional 100 attack and 100 attack for all Beast Warrior, and or Winged Beast on the board, so he does not recruit himself. Barrel Sword is an amazing link for a monster. He has his counter ability, he has his negate ability, he has his immunity ability. He has the ability to switch a monster to defense to swing twice, and his amplification effect, which I believe is when a monster attacks him. So, or I don't know how the bump effect works. I rarely use it. I use all the other effects of Barrel Sword, and I'm really just excited enough to have one in the extra deck. For the rest of the extra deck monsters, I guess we will have to talk about Harpie's Pet Phantasmal, and that's simply all of its effects outside. Well, it has the target effect that protects the Harpies from being targeted by card effects. It also can attack your opponent directly, so it's already starting at 2,000. So yeah, it's going to be doing a lot of damage on its own. But note, during each of your end phases, you have to detach material from this card. I'm really not trying to spam Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragons because I want extra deck room as much as possible, because we are limited through that. Thanks, Konami. I want to talk about that Gusto Emerald before I talk about the other four. Emerald is pretty much here as the Pot of Avarice. And then Tornado, Dragon, Castell, Lightning Chidori, and Ice Beast Zero Fine. What I like to call the Wind Toolbox, or the Winged Beast Toolbox for the Harpies. You have great removal through Chidori, Castell, and Tornado, in case you can't get to Hunting Ground. You have Castell's effect to set a card. Then when you summon Chidori, you can send that set card back to the bottom of the deck. And then you have both of their effects, which is sending cards back to the deck. Castell will shuffle it into the deck, but Chidori will place on the top. Make your opponent waste all those materials or all those cards to get out some of these big monsters, and then drop that, and then get rid of them with literally one card. Also to note, you can use Harpie's Featherstorm on Castell. You can't activate it directly from your hand, but if you set it and then your opponent starts triggering off monster effects, you can just flip it on Castell, and Castell, being a winged beast, will allow Featherstorm to negate the effects of monsters to the end of the turn. So, yeah, and then Ice Beast Zero Fine negates all face-up cards your opponent controls. Then for every card on the board, she'll gain additional 300 attack for each one, until the beginning of your next standby. So you got a pretty big hefty winged beast attached to you thanks to that. And then the last three monsters in the deck, of course, extra deck: Abyss Dweller, Cowboy, and Babushka. Babushka is here for the stall out, in case that needs to be prevalent. Cowboy is here for that 800 burn, and then Dweller is to deal with graveyard effects if needed. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. I know it ran a little long, but that is my average. I want to say thank you guys so much, and thank you guys for your support. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell when you guys want to be informed of my uploads and my hopefully I'll get back to live stream soon, but I'll let you guys know how that's going to pan out. But thanks everybody so much. I really do appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys next time. HJ signing out.